In this video, we're going to try our hands at making something a little bit different. We're going to try and make a carrot wine. Hi, I'm Charles and welcome to DIY Fermentation, your site for doing fermentation on a shoestring budget. Now then, I'd like to give a special shout out to Ted Wagner and John Constantine for becoming members of this channel to help support it. Thank you very much. Also, you can find the ingredients list in the description section of this video should you decide to make this on your own. Now then, let's get started. Okay, since we all know carrots are grown underground, that means that no matter how well they've been rinsed, they're still pretty dirty. So what we need to do is that we need to scrub these carrots down. And you can use whatever vegetable scrubber you've got, in which case I've got a brand new pad that I'm going to be using. And we're going to go ahead and make sure we do a thorough job of scrubbing these carrots. I mean, if you really want to peel these carrots, I mean, that's entirely up to you. But a very thorough scrub, it's all that's really required. All right, that's one. All right, well, these carrots made short work of my sponge. Not too much scouring action left in this bad boy. Oh well, that's done. Next thing I want to do is we need to slice in these carrots. Now with our freshly scrubbed carrots, we need to slice these bad boys into thin slices. Now I have three ways in which I can do it. One, I can use a knife. And try and do it that way. Another way of doing it would be to try and use a box grater and try and slice it that way. All right, show some promise there. A third way, if you've got one, would be to use one of these. Now then, let's see. Which one of these am I going to use? It's got to be an easy way. All right, now that we've got our carrots in our straining bags, we're going to go ahead and add our raisins to the bags too. Best you can. And go ahead and tie those off. Fine. All right, following that, we want to get our ingredients in a pot. And pour in our water. I'm going to save a little bit, and we want to cover this up and turn on the heat and bring our carrot raisin mixture to a simmer. All right, now that our mixture has come to a simmer. We're going to turn off the heat. We want to now add our sugars and honey. And by the way, the recommended 900 grams of sugar came out to 4 cups. Now, yeah, we could just pour in our sugar and start stirring, but it might be a better idea if we kind of remove these bags for a moment to make a little room to stir in our sweeteners. Let's carefully pull these out. Careful not to burn yourself. I take no responsibility. And just put those off to the side for a hot second. I mean, use tongs if necessary, but do not burn yourself because that is hot, all right? You've been warned. All right, now with that having been said, we'll start out by adding our sugar. Now I've already set our honey in a container filled with hot water because I want to warm that up. So with that having been said, let's go ahead and add our honey. By the way, I am going to fill that up with some of this liquid, and I am going to rinse this honey out into our mixture. We can go ahead and return our carrots to the pot and make sure the heat is off, and we're going to let that come down to room temperature. All right, now that our mixture has come down to room temperature, we need to transfer that into our fermenter, which has just been freshly sanitized. So I think the way I'm going to do it is to take the bags out first and then see if I can pour everything in. Now my hands are clean because they've been even in the sanitizer. And let's see. That's one. Two. And yeah, at this point, it just smells like carrots, okay? So making this into wine, we shall see. And now comes the tricky part. How much of this can I actually get in the fermenter? Let's see. Nope, can't do it that way. Let's do it this way. Well, let's just say I got most of it in there. Good enough. All right, what we need to do is we need to add our peptic enzyme. But before I do that, I am going to clean off the top, or clean this off real quick with running water. Okay, I've measured out 3/4 of a teaspoon. That's 2 grams for you non-imperial folk of peptic enzyme, which again is highly optional. Just want to cut down on some of that pectin haze that I guess carrots are going to have. Basically, it's going to allow the wine to clear a little bit faster. I mean, we're not talking anything like bentonite or sparkloid or anything like that. But there we go. Now, according to my instructions, it takes about 12 hours for peptic enzyme to do its thing. So it's kind of late. So we'll let this sit overnight and we'll come back at it tomorrow morning. Okay, took a hydrometer reading and it looks like it's coming in at 1.092. Now then, in order to turn our carrot juice into carrot wine, we need to add the magic ingredient, which is 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, which is, we're going to just go ahead and try and sprinkle that around without just dumping it in there. If you want to hydrate your yeast, go right ahead. If you've got some other way that you want to incorporate your yeast, go right ahead. I'm just simply saying that for the most part, this is all I've had to do. Just sprinkle it on top and let it come to its own and all we do after that is put on a cap. This fermenter does have a built-in airlock, so I don't need to put in a bubble type airlock, although it does come with one. And once that's done, we just need to label our creation. Having labeled our creation, we now know that we're making carrot wine. We started it on this date, and our original gravity reading was 1.092. Now, for the next 3 days, you want to go ahead and give it a vigorous stir with a properly sanitized spoon or utensil, and just give it a real good stir. If you're not using straining bags, just punch down those carrots that are going to be floating on the top, but just make sure you get a little air in there. And after the 3rd day, you can pretty much just leave it alone and let it do its thing. For the next week, I usually do my first racking with fruit, or in this case, roots, after about 7 days to get as much flavor out of it that I possibly can. And then I'll rack it into our secondary and begin the process of letting it age. Every 6 or 7 weeks or so, I'll go ahead and rack it into another container to get it off of the accumulated least that you're going to see developing on the bottom of your carboy, jug, demijohn, call it what you want, until the wine goes clear. In about minimum of 12 months with this wine, although I'm seeing that it's taking a little bit longer than 12 months, your wine will be ready. But that's the basic process of making carrot wine. Looking forward to taking that first taste test in about 6 to 8 months and seeing how it goes from there. If you like what you see here, click on the subscribe button. You'll find the ingredients in the description section below. If there are any changes at the 6-month tasting, I'll make those changes to the original ingredients in the original video. And I think what I'm going to do is probably put together a winemaking kit that you can take a look at, possibly if you're just starting out, using the least expensive pieces of equipment that I can find, or certainly the stuff that I've been buying, which has been the least expensive equipment I can find, and help you get a start there. So again, I'll see you in the next video.